Welcome back to the Grief Mentor podcast. This is your host, Teresa. And friends, we are in full swing over here in the Grief Mentor workshop. We started yesterday and wow, the Holy Spirit is working in ways that I could have never imagined. I've prayed for every single mom that God has brought to this workshop, and to now see His hand at work inside of these precious moms' hearts is way beyond me, friends. I never cease to be amazed at God and His power at work within us. And we had some awesome giveaways yesterday, and today is more of the same. There is still time to join us if you want to be a part of something God is doing in the hearts and minds of grieving moms. All you need to do is visit my website. At the top banner, you'll see a place that says the Grief Mentor Workshop. Join me here. You can join from my show notes or in that email I sent you if you're a Grief Mentor Insider. I do need to mention, though, that once the workshop is done, at the end of the week, this group will go down. It's not a Facebook group that's going to continue. It is solely for the Grief Mentor Workshop. So the content that I'm sharing will only be available for this week inside that Facebook group. For those of you that have been with me this week, you've already felt it. That moment that something clicks and makes sense. You know, we spent that first day focusing on what is underneath all the chaos and learning those steps to be able to manage it. I know I've heard from several of you that have told me that for the first time you have understood things that was going on inside your heart and mind that you couldn't even name. And the workshop yesterday and the workbook that went along with it allowed you to see things in a completely different light. And guess what? This not only helps you in your grief, but it helps you realize that you're not the only one feeling like this. Now, the Facebook group has been open since the 7th of August, so there's also been some amazing engagement going on inside of there. Friend, I just need to say this. Community is everything to a grieving mom because our pain needs to be witnessed. And if you haven't joined us yet, I want to speak to your heart that maybe still wonders, is there really something out there that can help me? Because I've heard so many moms say when they come to see me for the very first time in those one-on-ones, I've done everything that I can possibly do and nothing has helped. And I'm here because I need some spiritual guidance. I'm here because I need to hear from another grieving mom who has walked this journey. Sometimes we just need to know that somebody else understands what's inside of your heart and what you're asking for. And then to consider what that might look like, to let someone else walk with you inside your grief. Because sometimes, friend, just taking that step, being able to trust someone to walk alongside you in your grief, sometimes that is the step that changes everything. If you're grieving the death of your child and you want the steps that lead to believing with confidence that life is still worth living, then you're in the right place. Hello, I'm Teresa, a grief mentor. That's been where you are, and I teach grieving moms like you how to navigate life after child loss. If you're ready to take a step of courage and build a solid foundation to live with hope and purpose, then I'm here to teach you how. Are you ready for what God has for you? Then I'm ready to teach you. Maybe you've joined me inside the workshop this week, or maybe this podcast is your very first introduction to me. Either way, this is what I know, friend. Carrying the weight of child loss is exhausting. If you've been trying to carry that weight alone, you've done what you could to survive, and on the outside, you may look like you're holding it all together. And the way you know that is because the person you see in the mirror is not recognizable to you. But the other people in your life that come up to you and they pat you on your back and they say, "You look so good. I'm proud of you. You're doing really good in your grief journey." But inside, there's this ache, an ache for something to shift. Because everything that you're hearing them say to you could not be further from the truth. Because you long for somewhere where you can finally feel like you're getting the help you need. Like you're not going to be stuck in this place that you're in right now forever, because that's truly what it feels like. If you've listened to last week's podcast, that's what we talked about, right? Is that place where we feel like we're going to be stuck forever because the mountain in front of us just looks too hard to climb. And maybe, just maybe, being inside the workshop this week, you've caught a glimpse of what that shift looks like. Maybe something in the workshop has helped you be seen. Maybe more importantly, it's opened your mind and heart and eyes to be able to see a path that you weren't able to see before. Or maybe you've been listening to the podcast for a while now, right? And maybe you just keep coming back. You just keep coming back because you're saying, you know what? She's explaining exactly how I feel. I hear so many times, I think you live inside my head, Teresa, because the words you put on the page and the words that you say in your podcast are exactly the way I feel, and I don't even have the words to express it. Friend, that's because I have walked in your shoes. Okay, that's why I'm a mentor. I've lived it. But here's what I want you to see. Anytime we experience just one moment of truth, one moment where that light bulb seems to go off, and you know what? Those light bulbs are a lot brighter now, aren't they? Because the world we live in, when we're in that place of despair and we feel stuck, like no one knows or understands what's going on in our heart and mind, where we feel like that we're looking at that mountain in front of us and it's so darn hard to climb, we feel overwhelmed. And then when we find a nugget of truth that the Holy Spirit illuminates, that light's pretty bright, isn't it, friend? Oh, I pray, my heart prays that if you're in the workshop this week, that those moments, I hope they're happening more than once, and I pray that they're building on each other, okay? But maybe right here in the podcast, maybe you've heard things that were allowed that light bulb to go off in your heart and mind. Does it take away your grief? No, because it doesn't take away your love, friend. Yeah. But it reminds you, you know what? I'm not in this journey alone. Somebody gets me. They understand me. They see what's in my heart and mind, and they want to help me. I know it's hard to believe sometimes that support like this could really be for you. It can help other people, right? People that are, quote, more spiritual or further along in their grief or more deserving than I. That's that guilt piece that we talked about yesterday in the workshop. Yeah, to be able to work through that, friend, you got to understand the emotions underneath of it. But if that's the lie that you've been carrying and the enemy is trying to convince you that is the truth, I want to speak directly to that. Longing for support means that you know down deep in your heart that there's a better way. You just can't get to it on your own. Right? It means you're ready to be met in your grief, right exactly where you are. And guess what, friend? That longing is holy because God put it there. It's part of how He is drawing you to Him because He wants you to learn to be able to live in this space and not just survive, friend, but live again. But this is how it happens. You don't get to go around it, friend. You don't get to take the bypass. You have to walk through it. Whether you've joined the workshop or you've just been listening here in the podcast, I want you to know something. You're not too far gone in your grief, friend. You're not too complicated. And you're not asking for too much. You're just asking for someone to come alongside you to help you see things that you can't see on your own because of the blind spots of your grief. To help you see, even though that mountain standing in front of you is high, it's climbable, friend. And that's exactly what I want to offer you today through a program called the Grief Roadmap. What is it? What does it mean to walk together? Well, the Grief Roadmap is a 12-week mentorship experience for grieving moms. This is something that I offer. And guess what? It's not going to fix your grief. You're not going to leave the program and say, okay, well, that was nice. Now my grief is gone. No, friend, doesn't work that way. Because the love for your child is not going to go away. In fact, it grows deeper. But this is what it's about, being inside the 12-week Grief Roadmap Mentor Program. It's about being able to get the tools that you need to lean into learning to live again. It's about inviting Jesus into your pain and walking with others that get it one layer at a time. So what do you get inside the Grief Roadmap? You get weekly support, powerful tools, scripture-based guidance, and a faith-filled community that understands child loss in a world that doesn't. It's not for everyone. But if you've been listening to this podcast or watching the workshop videos, engaging with me every day at 1 o'clock, and something inside of your spirit says, this is exactly what I need, then this might be your first step, friend. I want you to hear from a grieving mom, and her name is Bazia. She came into the Grief Roadmap feeling lost and disconnected. And now she describes it as one of the most transformative things that she's ever done. Let's listen in as Bazia tells us her story.
Hi, this is Basia, Gabriel's mom. I participated in Teresa's Grief Roadmap course in August last year, and I can definitely recommend that to all mothers who experience child loss. My biggest breakthrough during the course, I think it was just discovering the fact how being in a community of other moms navigating their grief journey helps you to understand your own and can be extremely beneficial and supportive. I didn't realize how much I needed that. My favorite part of the experience, I think it was just the opportunity to bring my authentic self and my everyday grief to each session and connect with others and pray together. This allowed me to have a safe space to talk about my things and feelings that my family and friends couldn't possibly understand. If I would have to describe it to someone, I would say that it's really unique, helpful experience, chance to connect with other moms of child loss. You also get well-prepared support materials such as videos, exercises, which you can reflect upon. But most importantly, you feel like you are not alone, and having support and prayers of others really makes a difference. Teresa is a very warm and gentle mentor, guiding you throughout all the topics in the course and can really help you understand your own feelings, emotions better, share valuable experience and guidance of her own, or advise you what to do when you feel stuck. So I would definitely recommend this course to everyone struggling with the grief.
That's the beauty of this work, friend. It's not what I offer, but what God begins to uncover when you let yourself be supported in a way that the pressure goes away, you're free to be you, you're able to relax and take a deep breath because you're seen and heard. Every story's different, but every mom who enters the Grief Roadmap has one thing in common: a heart that is still beating, is still aching, and still searching for Jesus in the middle of the pain. She just doesn't know how to find it. The doors to the Grief Roadmap are open right now, and there is a seat for you. Not when you're, quote, ready, not when you've got yourself to a place to where, okay, I'm in a place now where I can actually show up and let others see the real me. No, this is a place for you just as you are. If you've been in the workshop this week and something has showed you beyond what your mind could conceive on your own, if you're listening to me here in the podcast and you've been listening to me for a while, or maybe this is your first time, and inside something is saying, I need more than what I've been doing, then I want to invite you, friend. Let this be the step that changes everything for you. Not because it makes your pain go away, but because it brings you into a space where your grief is seen, your heart is held, and your faith grows. Your own ears will hear him. Right behind you, a voice will say, this is the way you should go. Isaiah 30:21. Friend, I pray that you lean into the voice of the Holy Spirit. Okay? This is God's work. He just invited me to be a part of it. You don't have to figure out everything that you're doing right now. You don't have to know the next step, the path. You don't have to see a plan stretched out. Okay? But if the Holy Spirit is whispering to you, this is for you. This is where I want you. Then this might be your next step. Listen to it. I'll be right here waiting to walk with you. And that's all I have for you today. So until next time, take care. If you've been longing for real support in your grief, not just more advice, but a place to be seen, heard, and spiritually supported, I want to personally invite you to the next round of the Grief Roadmap. It's a 12-week mentorship experience for grieving moms designed to help you learn to live again after the loss of your child, one layer at a time. We start August 21st, and enrollment for the August class closes Sunday, August 17th. If you're new in your grief and this will be your first holiday season without your child, this is a beautiful place to receive the support you need. Just head on over to thegriefmentor.com and visit the course page and claim your spot. Again, that's thegriefmentor.com. I can't wait to walk with you, friend.